It is that time of year again, our second annual Brene Brown Leadership Council Retreat in southern Utah. The usual suspects are going, and this time Helena will join us. Dave provided great glamping gear last year with a cabin tent with a wood stove, cots, and a kitchen. He's under no obligation to improve on that, but he did, buying a house in St. George, which became our base of operations. Talk about going beyond the call of duty. He's holding the fort down there as our trip begins. Dave Packer and I ride down with Victor and Helena in their SUV. Even without much camping gear, we are still fully loaded, having brought some helmets along for technical slot canyon adventures which we do not use. Maybe next year. We stop at Meadow Hot Springs on the way. This was my first visit to the third pool, which was not warm enough for pleasant swimming, but you could soak your bare feet in it and the fish would come and nibble on the dead skin. Victor has phone reception and is on the clock at work on a conference call while the fish work on his feet. Good work if you can get it. This was more strange than painful and something you would have to pay for on a cruise ship. Snow Canyon is right next to St. George, and we thought about going there this evening, but we arrived just after sunset and hold that for another day. We have steak for dinner, fresh pomegranates from a tree out back, and soak in a hot tub. And I have a bedroom all to myself. Pretty swank. On Friday, we have a great breakfast and drive to Zion National Park. The shuttle requires tickets, which we do not have, so we park at the junction and walk up the road, dodging electric bikes and shuttle buses. At a trail junction, we cross over and take the trail to the Emerald Pools, along with thousands of other people, and have lunch there. Zion is quite crowded. Dave takes it upon himself to be our tour guide and tells us which side of the canyon has red rocks and which side has white rocks, many times throughout our trip.
To your right, red rocks. And to your left, white rocks. The green things are plants.
We continue to Angel's Landing, which is even more crowded, and decide to go ahead for the summit, going up the chain route in single file. Dave Packer makes a video of the experience, which makes it look more precarious than it really is. I count the switchbacks of Walter's Wiggles on the way down and get 20, and when we arrive back at the road we consider taking a shuttle back, but the ticket thing is an issue again, so we walk, making for a long day. We see two semi-wild turkeys on the road on the way back and take their pictures. Our conversation includes some tasteless jokes that I will not repeat here. We get back to the car before dark and head back to St. George for pork ribs. Dave has a smoker and outdoes himself with fancy dinners, and we bought plenty of adult beverages with us. It doesn't get much better than this. We all share resources, and I provide individual pies for everybody at the trailheads, but Dave and Victor do the heavy lifting, providing the house and vehicle. Helena does not join us on our hiking excursions, but Dave has 2 small white fluffy dogs that keep her company at home, and she is quite pleased with this arrangement. We had anticipated 2 easy days and 1 hard day, Buckskin, which was to have been tomorrow, but we rearranged the schedule to move it to the last day and planned to do Snow Canyon Saturday, which is close to St. George and none of us have visited before. If it doesn't have enough attention or enough activities to hold our attention, we will go to Valley of Fire in Nevada in the afternoon. Snow Canyon is a Utah state park and turns out to have 19 designated hiking trails, so there's plenty to do here. We hike a nature trail through red sand, which takes us to petrified sand dunes, called Slick Rock elsewhere, which are steep with good traction, and we enjoy wandering there. The area is crowded mostly with families. This place has a more relaxed vibe than a national park. We take a long loop trail through Padre Canyon, which is rough and remote, with a steep pass. Over the pass, it appears that civilization is straight ahead, which turns out to be a remote high school for the performing arts. The drinking fountains are closed due to COVID, so we rejoin the trail back to the park. More water would have been welcome. This is a hot day in the sun. I didn't expect to have such warm conditions in mid-October, but it is southern Utah. Dave Packer and I break off to explore short Slot Canyon while Victor and Dave go get the car, and we are soon home for dinner of chicken prepared on a smoker. We have great conversations with dinner, and Dave tells us the importance of giving your kids bad advice. Sunday is our day for Buckskin Gulch. It is a 2.5-hour drive away, so I think we should depart at 7. Our actual departure is at 7:10. Our route takes us through Hilldale, Utah, into Colorado City, Arizona, with some remarks about this fundamental LDS community as we go through. Then back up to Cresap and to Wire Pass Trailhead. I have been here before, so I know which parking lot is correct. We hike through Wire Pass, and at the junction with Buckskin, I note the time as 10:29 and 35 seconds, so we're 25 seconds ahead of my optimistic time schedule for the day. We decide on 3.5 hours, so we will turn around at 1400. This is hard to do, and I finally turn around about 14:15. The weather's perfect and shady in the Slot Canyon, of course, except for a few rare places where the planets align and we have sunlight in the bottom of the Slot Canyon. Dave takes advantage of these and tosses dust in the air to see what magical shapes will be revealed. Words fail me to relate the impact of Buckskin Gulch, so I will let Dave tell the story with pictures. Take it away, Dave. Back to our story. We make better time going out, back to the junction before 5, and at the car by 5:37 for the long drive back for cowboy beans for dinner with cornbread and rice. So it turns out to be 3 demanding days rather than 1 and 2 easy ones, but this is what we came for. On Monday, I take a short walk to the Kentucky Lucky Chicken Trail that Dave speaks highly of before we head back to Idaho Falls with a stop at IKEA on the way.